Hello, thanks for downloading the 5 things you need to do to lose weight, get fitter, and get healthier. We're going to jump straight in with the first thing you need to do, and that is calories. We don't need to count every single calorie we eat or drink or burn. We just need to be aware that we need to be in a calorie deficit in order to see fat loss. For your body to get rid of stored energy, you need to be in a calorie deficit, so your body relies on that body fat to fuel your body and your exercise for that day, whatever period you're in a calorie deficit. So it doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to count calories. We don't have to check points and sins and anything else like that. We just need to do 2 simple things that will drop your calories and help you create that deficit. The first one is make better choices. This seems pretty obvious, but it's something people don't do. If you've got the choice between 2 foods, there's no good and bad foods, but there's better and worse. So if you've got that choice between 2 foods, go for the better option. If you've got to choose between a doner kebab or a shish kebab, the shish kebab is going to be the healthier option, the better option. So that's your better choice. If you're going for a burger, maybe instead of having a triple cheeseburger, you have a double cheeseburger. Again, it's the better option. Because we're trying to reduce calorie consumption, it's a case of choosing the better option. If you've got to choose between white bread and brown bread, choose the brown bread. Milk chocolate or dark chocolate, choose the dark chocolate. We're going for the options that will reduce the calories slightly and improve nutrient intake. So again, it's not just about calories, it's also about how much nutrition and goodness you get from that food. Some foods are just useless and devoid of any nutrition. Other foods have more in. Obviously, a head of broccoli is going to have more nutrients in it than a bar of chocolate. But the better choices don't have to be that extreme. You don't have to swap chocolate for broccoli. You can swap a bar of chocolate for another sweet that's got less calories, less fat, and more nutrients in it. Maybe swap a bar of chocolate for some fruit, so you're still getting the sweet, but you're getting some fiber and some nutrition with it. The second thing to do is portion sizes. Most people don't check portion sizes. They'll pour the pasta or the rice in, don't measure it, end up with twice as much as you probably should have. Or the other thing is, you've cooked that much, you load the plates up until everything you've cooked is on those plates. You don't need to do that. So the easiest thing to do is use a smaller plate for a start. If you're one that tends to fill the plate, use a smaller plate. You cannot fit as much food on it. Don't pile it up to compensate for the smaller plate. Just use a smaller plate, put an appropriate size portion on there. Same with every meal you eat. Have an appropriate portion size. If you do go to McDonald's, you don't need to have 2 triple cheeseburgers, a large fries, and a massive Coke. You can have a usual adult portion, a cheeseburger or a double cheeseburger, medium fries, and maybe skip the Coke. It's as simple as that. Reduce portion sizes and make better choices of what you eat, and your calorie deficit will come naturally. You haven't had to change what you eat particularly, just make a better choice. You're still enjoying everything you eat and choosing the foods you like. You've not got to swap a burger and chips for a salad leaf and dry chicken. You just make the better choice out of the things you do want to eat. And if you can do that, you'll save yourself a good few hundred calories a day quite easily. No counting calories, no measuring or weighing, no logging your food, no points, no sins. Literally, just as you make the decision, you make the better decision, and don't overdo portion sizes. That is the simplest way to start reducing your calorie intake. Okay, so the second thing you need to do is increase your activity levels. Like reducing calorie consumption, the other end of the spectrum, the other way to create that calorie deficit that you need to lose weight is to burn more calories. This is the eat less, move more saying that everyone refers back to. Yes, we want to reduce calorie consumption by eating and drinking lower calorie foods or less of them. But we also need to think about fitness and health and activity. So we can drop a few hundred calories by eating less, and we can burn a few hundred calories by moving more. Between them, they can create quite a decent calorie deficit, and it doesn't take much. A bit like the calories, it's really simple. You just need to eat a little bit less, smaller portions, and make better choices, more nutrient dense, less calorie dense foods. With activity, it's quite similar, quite simple. It doesn't have to be 5 hours a week busting your guts in the gym. All you need to do is increase the amount of activity that you're currently doing. Quite a lot of people have these step trackers on their watches. That's a good start. That's an easy way to track what you're doing and get a rough idea of your activity level. So rather than aiming straight for the 10,000 steps a day, that might be great if you can do it. But if you're at 2,000 or 3,000 at the moment, that might be a bit of a stretch to begin with. So use your tracker, figure out your average daily step count. So add up how many steps you do over the course of a week and then divide it by 7 to get your daily average. And then aim to add 2,000 or 3,000 steps to that. All we need to do is increase what you're currently doing to burn a bit more. So add in 2,000 or 3,000, even if you're still only at 6,000 and not 10, it's an improvement on what you're doing, and you're burning those extra few thousand calories, a few hundred calories. So start there. For most people, you get about 1,000 steps for 10 minutes of walking. So to get 2,000 to 3,000 steps extra, we're looking for 20 to 30 minutes of walking. Some people might be a bit less, some people might be a bit more. It depends how fast you walk and how fit you are, really. So that's the baseline level, the simplest thing you can do. Get your average daily step count and increase it by 2,000 or 3,000. As you progress, as you get fitter, as you get more into it, you can aim to increase that again, build it up to the 10,000 or more. And then beyond that, start thinking about doing some actual training. It doesn't have to be in the gym. You can train at home. You can find a sport or activity you like doing, whether you like walking or running or cycling or swimming, playing football, netball, martial arts, boxing. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be the gym. However, resistance work is going to be the most beneficial thing you can do. We need to work our muscles. If you just diet down and you're in a calorie deficit, your body is trying to save calories because it knows it's not getting enough in. So what it will do is it will start to ditch the most expensive muscle tissue instead of fat cells, because in a calorie deficit, your body wants to hold on to its fat stores because that's the energy it needs, and it will get rid of anything that it doesn't need that costs it energy, which are your muscles. So the way to avoid this is to make sure you're using your muscles. That signals to your body that you can't get rid of muscle. We're using this muscle tissue, we need it, and your body will keep hold of it. What that will then do is preserve muscle tissue and tell your body to use your energy stores or your fat stores to provide that extra energy and make up for the calorie deficit. So it's very, very important that you do activity as well as diet to ensure you maintain as much muscle mass as you can and tip the scales in favor of burning body fat for fuel rather than muscle tissue. Again, it doesn't have to be the gym. Find something you like to do and do that. Add that to your 2,000 or 3,000 extra steps. And again, you're just burning more and more calories. And again, this isn't just about fat loss, it's about health. So as you do this, you're going to increase your strength, you're going to increase your fitness, and yes, it will help with fat loss. So add your extra activity levels into your calorie kind of deficit, your sensible, better choices and reduction in portion sizes. Add that to the calories, and again, you're creating that deficit from 2 different angles: eating less, moving more. Okay, so strategy number 3 of the 5 things you need to do to lose weight, improve health, and get fitter is hydration. Most people don't drink enough water. And when I mean water, when I say water, I mean water. That is what we've evolved to drink. Not tea, not coffee, not fizzy drinks, not alcohol. We have evolved to drink water. So that is what your body needs. Any other drink that you consume your body will have to take the water content out of that before it gets assimilated into your body. Whereas if you can just drink water, it's giving your body exactly what it needs. Not to mention, with the other drinks, you tend to get extra calories that you don't need, and all sorts of other additives and chemicals that are best avoided. So when it comes down to it, water is the best thing we can drink. Alcohol is a poison, and most of the chemicals that we find in kind of juices and cordials and fizzy drinks are also toxic to your body. We might get away with having them in small amounts, but it will add up over time, and it's not doing your health any favors. The other thing to remember is that quite often your body will mistake thirst for hunger. So when you think you're hungry, your body is actually thirsty. So a good trick you can use is to drink water anytime you start to feel a bit peckish or a bit hungry. Drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up, 2 glasses if you can in the morning. And then before every meal you eat, have a drink of water, because what that will do, if it's thirst instead of hunger, it will stop you eating too much or overeating. Also, if you drink a glass of water first, you've got something else in your belly, and again, it will help stop you overeating. So that alone can save you hundreds of calories a day, as well as keeping you well hydrated. And again, we're aiming for the health side of things, not just fat loss. So keeping your body hydrated gets every cell in your body fully hydrated and gives it the best chance to function how it's supposed to. So every part of your body, from your brain to your digestive system to your heart, will work better when you are fully hydrated. And if you get things like back pain or joint pain, again, that can quite often be because of hydration issues. So make sure you're fully hydrated. For most people, we're aiming for 2 to 3 liters a day, more if you're exercising a lot or in hot weather, but aim for a minimum of 2 to 3 liters of water. Try and avoid other drinks as much as you can. Tea and coffee are fine in moderation. Obviously, they've got caffeine in, so try and avoid them after midday. Keep them to the morning and don't overdo it. And again, drink as much water as you can. Try and swap as many of the other drinks, tea, coffee, especially alcohol, and swap them for water. It will do your health a lot of benefit. So really do try to increase your water intake and reduce the intake of calorie laden other drinks that aren't going to do your health any favors. Your body shouldn't have to work hard to get rid of stuff you're drinking or eating. It should have to be able to digest it, use it without having to filter everything out first. So increase your water intake, and that will help, again, stop you overeating, which will help combine with your smaller portions. Because again, if you're hydrated, you've had a drink first, you're not still going to feel hungry after that smaller portion. So it's all things that tie together and help you improve your health and drop body fat. Okay, sleep. Now, this might not instantly come to mind when you think of fat loss, but again, when you look at things from a health perspective, a healthy body does not want to hold on to excess body fat because it's inefficient. It's got to move that weight around all day. It doesn't help with fitness, and it's just a burden for your body. Your body needs an amount of stored energy as a backup, but anything beyond that is excessive and your body doesn't want it. So a healthy body does not want to be overweight. And one of the best things you can do to improve your health is get adequate sleep. So by definition, if you can improve your sleep quality and quantity, it will improve your health, which will aid in fat loss. Now, people need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and anyone that says they can get by on less than that is mistaken. It's literally no one. They've proven in many studies that the number of people who can get by on less than 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night is pretty much zero. So even if you think you're getting away with it, it will be affecting your health and your brain and your thinking more than you realize. They've actually, in an experiment, shown that a lack of sleep is more detrimental than drink driving. So your focus, your concentration, your reaction time is impaired more by a lack of sleep than it is by alcohol. Obviously, the amount of alcohol might change that, but lack of sleep causes more accidents than drink driving. So that again shows how important sleep is. So what you're aiming for is at least 8 hours sleep opportunity. By that, I mean when you're in bed, laying down, lights out, trying to go to sleep, from that point onwards until you wake up. If you give yourself 8 hours sleep opportunity, that's a good start. You might not fall asleep for half hour, which means you'll get 7.5 hours of sleep, but you've had that 8 hours sleep opportunity. If you can make that 9 hours, even better. You've got even more chance of getting your 8 hours of sleep. The other thing is think about sleep quality. So make sure everything's turned off in your room, all the electricals. Turn your phone off or leave it in the other room. Even if it's on flight mode, get it away from the bed. Anything electrical, turn it off. Anything with a light on, like even just the LED on your TV, turn it off. Make sure your room is as dark as possible. It needs to be pitch black like a cave, and it needs to be cool, and it needs to be distraction free. Your bedroom is for sleeping. So make sure you work backwards from your wake up time. If you have to get up at 7 a.m. and you want 8 hours sleep opportunity, you have to be lights out and in bed by 11 p.m. to get your 8 hours of sleep opportunity. But again, if you want to stretch that out to 9 hours, which is preferable, it means go to bed at 10. That's not unreasonable. It just means possibly a little bit less TV, wind down in the evening, have your evening routine, get to bed, lights out, go to sleep. Once you start getting into that routine and you do that every night, your body clock will start to adjust and adapt. So you'll get used to going to bed at 10 o'clock and you'll probably wake up naturally without an alarm at your usual wake up time. And again, that will go so far towards promoting your health that it has to help with weight loss. Again, combined with all the other things we're doing, it just helps improve your health. And as I said, weight loss will follow health. Okay, so strategy number 5, the 5 things you need to do to lose weight, get fit and improve your health, is to get sun exposure and fresh air. This should seem obvious to everyone, but most people do not get enough sunlight exposure or fresh air. We go from in our house to in our car to at work to in the car to back home again. Most people don't make the effort to get outside, get some fresh air and get some sunlight, especially in the winter months. It's very, very important to get out in the sun to help your body produce vitamin D, which again will help with general health and fat loss. It's estimated about 60% of people in the UK are deficient in vitamin D. So that goes to show how little people get outside, because all you need is about 15 to 20 minutes out in the sunlight with your skin exposed to get adequate amounts of vitamin D produced in your body. Obviously in the winter it can be a bit tougher, so it's possibly worth taking a vitamin D supplement. Don't overdo it, just follow the instructions, but anything 5,000 international units or below will be absolutely fine. Fresh air, again, is something that is underrated. We live in a very polluted world, so it's important to get outside and get as much fresh air as you can. Sitting indoors, sitting under air conditioning, it's not healthy. So if you can get outside, get some fresh air and sunlight whilst you're doing your extra steps that we're adding in each day, that 20 to 30 minutes of sunlight and fresh air will go a long way to improving your health. Again, all of these things combine to make weight loss a lot easier and really boost your health. So see if you can get your exercise done outside, even if it's wet and windy and cold. Just try and get out there, get the fresh air. In the winter, as I said, you might need a vitamin D supplement just to top the levels up again, or you can strategically and safely use a sunbed for that reason. Again, not to get a tan, just to top up your vitamin D levels through the winter months. So just figure out how you can get those extra steps in outside preferably. And again, if you're doing other activity, if you're doing sports or training, see if you can do some of that outside as well. It's not all got to be in the gym or at home indoors. See if you can do it in the garden, go out for a walk or a run. Just get outdoors, get your fresh air, get your sunshine, top up your vitamin D with a supplement if you need to. and make sure you're getting these fundamental things to boost human health. Okay, so tying it all together, you've got 5 strategies you can use now to help you improve your health, that will help with improving fitness and losing body fat. If you can blend them together, they all complement each other. If you get better quality sleep, you'll have more energy in the morning. You'll be able to, if you've got more energy, you're more likely to train and do the exercise you need to do. When you're exercising and you're feeling good, it makes you want to make the better food choices. When you make the better food choices, again, it gives you more energy. You don't feel as drained. So it gives you more energy to go and train again. When you're doing all of that, it makes you want to get a good night's sleep. Again, everything ties in together. So really make as much use as you can of these 5 strategies. Really, you don't need an exhausting training plan, and you don't need an impossible to follow strict diet. If you can just do these 5 things, for most people, that is enough to start seeing a decent amount of fat loss and to get you into some pretty decent shape. Also, in terms of health, again, strict diet and a crazy exercise plan don't always necessarily mean better health. They might mean results in how you look, but people quite often sacrifice their health for weight loss. Whereas if you focus on health, weight loss will follow. So think about putting all of these into action as soon as you can. If you want to accelerate things, yes, you can increase things a bit. You can tweak your diet, make it a bit more specific, a bit more healthy. You can get a specific training plan that's beyond just going out and doing some exercises and getting your steps in, but actually a specific plan to lead you to a specific goal. But you cannot sacrifice health on the way to doing these things. So tie them all together, and you should really feel the benefit to your health. As another side effect, as well as weight loss or fat loss, if you are on any medications, it can help this, because again, a healthy body doesn't get sick. That's the definition of health. So as you improve your health, any ailments you have that you might need medications for or might not, there's a good chance they could improve. Don't take yourself off any medications. Always make sure you go and check with the doctor and explain what you're doing. They can check your health markers, they can see how well you're getting on, and they can adjust any medication as necessary. So don't, for God's sake, take yourself off any medications, but be aware that as you improve your health, the need for those medications may reduce or disappear entirely. I've had clients in the past that were told they needed blood pressure medications. They started training, went back, didn't need them at all. I've had clients that have been on blood pressure medication for years before training, and within 5 or 6 months of healthy eating and exercise, they came off that medication, something they'd been on for 7 or 8 years prior to that point. So it really can change your life. It's not just about fat loss. Really, really do try and focus on the health side of things more than fat loss, because the fat loss will follow. So make sure you do all these things together. And again, if you need more help, I am here. I'm local in Tredegar. If you want one-to-one or group personal training, get in touch. I also do online coaching. So if you're a bit further afield, or if you just rather do it by yourself, just with the guidance of a qualified and experienced coach, get in touch. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. You probably got this email from me now, so you can always just reply to that. My phone number is on there. Just get in touch. I can send you more details. We can have a chat about how the coaching works, what your goals are, what you want to achieve from it, how I can help you. And if we both think that we're a good match and we can work together, we can get you signed up and get you started and really accelerate your results. Obviously, these 5 things, as I said, for most people are enough to start seeing some changes and looking and feeling better. But if you want to really accelerate things and take it to the next level, it is really a good idea to get a specific training plan in place and get your diet tailored to what you need it to do. So, as I said, get in touch. Hopefully this has all helped, and I'd love your feedback and I'd love to hear from you. So do please let me know how you're getting on. And again, if you want to start working with me one-to-one or as a group, get in touch and we can get started.